Your words are never empty. They are never without assignment. Every word you release carries direction, carries force, and carries authority. The moment you speak, something is set into motion. Words are not just sounds passing through the air, they are containers of power. They carry belief, expectation, and spiritual substance. What you repeatedly declare begins to shape the atmosphere around you, and what shapes your atmosphere will eventually shape your life. Many people have underestimated the authority resting in their own mouth. They have spoken carelessly, saying things like, "I will never get better," "I am always tired," "My body is weak," or "Nothing ever changes for me." They think these are harmless expressions, but every negative declaration plants a seed, and every seed, if watered long enough, produces a harvest. When you continually speak weakness, weakness begins to establish itself as your expectation. When you constantly declare defeat, defeat becomes the atmosphere you live in. But there is a higher law at work. There is a spiritual principle that overrides natural limitation, and it begins with what you say. Your words were designed to exercise authority because you were created with the ability to agree with divine truth. Your mouth was not given to echo fear. It was given to release life. It was not created to repeat defeat. It was created to establish victory. This is why your confession matters. What you say consistently will either align you with limitation or align you with promise. If your words agree with fear, fear gains access. If your words agree with doubt, doubt begins to dominate your thinking. But if your words agree with truth, then truth begins to rise within you with strength and certainty. You must understand that spiritual authority is activated through spoken agreement. It is one thing to quietly hope for change. It is another thing entirely to boldly declare what has already been made available to you. Hope waits for tomorrow, but faith speaks today. Faith says, "Even if I cannot see the evidence yet, I know what is true and I declare it now." When you wake up and your body feels weak, that is the moment authority must speak. Instead of agreeing with what you feel, agree with what is higher than feeling. Say, "Strength is rising in me." When pain tries to define your condition, answer it with authority and say, "My body is responding to life." When fear whispers that nothing will ever change, speak louder and declare, "Change is already working because truth is at work in me." This is not denial. This is alignment. You are not pretending symptoms do not exist. You are refusing to give symptoms the highest authority. Facts may report what is happening now, but truth declares what is possible beyond the present moment. Facts can change when they encounter truth consistently spoken in faith. Your body is listening. Your mind is listening. Your spirit is listening. What you repeatedly say becomes instruction to every part of your being. If you train yourself to speak life, your inner world begins to come into agreement with life. Strength begins to replace weakness. Expectation begins to replace fear. Peace begins to silence confusion. There is creative force in your confession because your words carry the imprint of what you believe. When belief and speech come into agreement, power is released. That is why careless words are dangerous, but faith-filled words are transformational. So, guard your mouth carefully. Refuse to speak what fear suggests. Refuse to repeat defeat just because circumstances seem difficult. Fill your mouth with life. Speak health. Speak peace. Speak strength. Speak restoration. Every declaration of truth is an act of authority. Every faith-filled word is a command sent into your future. And when you continue to speak with confidence, without wavering, without retreating, what you have declared will begin to manifest. Your words carry authority. Use them to establish life. The human body is constantly responding to instruction. It was designed to react, adjust, and align itself according to what it receives. Most people understand this in the natural sense. They know that what they feed their body affects its strength. They know that exercise changes its condition. They know that rest restores its energy. Yet many fail to realize that the body also responds to the words continually spoken over it. Words are not empty vibrations. They carry direction. They communicate expectation. They establish patterns of thought that eventually influence physical response. When words are repeated long enough, they become internalized as truth, And once the mind accepts something as truth, the body begins to respond accordingly. This is why negative confession is so destructive. A person who constantly says, "I am weak," reinforces weakness. One who repeatedly declares, "I never feel well," conditions the body to expect discomfort. The body listens, absorbs, and reacts to the authority of spoken agreement. This is not merely psychological suggestion. There is a deeper principle at work. The body was created to come into alignment with what it consistently hears. It responds to dominant instruction. If fear becomes the dominant message, the body reacts with tension, stress, and disorder. If peace becomes the dominant message, the body responds with calm and restoration. What is spoken repeatedly becomes the atmosphere the body learns to live under. This is why careless speech must never be underestimated. Every word spoken over your life is planting expectation into your system. Some have unknowingly trained their bodies toward limitation by years of negative declaration. They have said, "I always get sick this time of year," until the body has accepted it as instruction. They have declared, "I am exhausted all the time," until exhaustion has become their normal condition. They have spoken defeat so often that their body no longer expects anything else. But the body can be retrained. It can learn a new language. It can come into agreement with life instead of limitation. The process begins when your words change. When you speak health, your body hears possibility. When you speak strength, your body receives new instruction. When you consistently declare peace, your system begins to release the burden of fear. The body is not indifferent to what it hears. It responds to repeated command. This is why your confession must become intentional. You cannot allow your mouth to simply report symptoms, fear, or temporary discomfort. If all you do is repeat what is wrong, your body continues to reinforce what is wrong. Instead, speak what you desire to become established. When weakness appears, declare strength. When pain tries to dominate your attention, declare peace and restoration. When exhaustion whispers that recovery is impossible, answer with confidence and say, "Renewal is working in me now." The body learns through repetition. If negative words trained it into limitation, then truth-filled words can train it into restoration. This is why persistence matters. Many speak life for a day and quit because they do not see immediate change. But transformation requires consistency. The body must hear the same truth repeatedly until it becomes its dominant expectation. This is how renewal begins. First, the words change. Then the thoughts change. Then expectation changes. Then the body starts responding to the new atmosphere being created within. Every day you are giving your body instruction. Every sentence is shaping expectation. Every declaration is either strengthening life or reinforcing weakness. Choose carefully what your body hears from you. Speak with authority, not uncertainty. Speak with conviction, not fear. Speak with expectation, not doubt. Say, "My body is responding to health." Say, "Strength is increasing within me." Say, "Peace governs every system in my body." Say, "Restoration is unfolding right now." Do not speak these things casually. Speak them with confidence and consistency. Your body is listening more closely than you realize. It is waiting for instruction. Give it the language of life, and over time it will begin to align with the truth you have declared. The body responds to repeated authority. Let your words become the force that leads it into healing, strength, and renewal. There is a difference between ordinary speech and words that are filled. Faith. Ordinary speech simply reports circumstances. It repeats what is seen, what is felt, and what appears to be true in the natural moment. Faith-filled words, however, rise above appearances. They declare what is true beyond present conditions. They speak with confidence, not because evidence is visible, but because truth is greater than what can be seen. This is where healing begins. Healing does not start when symptoms disappear. Healing begins the moment faith speaks. The natural mind believes healing starts when the body feels different, when the pain lessens, or when visible improvement appears. But faith understands that change first takes place in the unseen realm. It is activated when words align with truth and are spoken with unwavering expectation. Faith-filled words carry power because they are spoken in agreement with what is already established beyond natural limitation. They are not attempts to persuade or convince. They are declarations of certainty. They release authority because they are rooted in conviction rather than emotion. This is why confession matters so deeply. What you speak reveals what you believe. If your words are filled with fear, then fear has taken root in your expectation. If your words are filled with doubt, then doubt is influencing your direction. But when your words are filled with faith, they create an atmosphere where healing can move freely. Too many people wait until they feel stronger before they speak strength. They wait until they feel peace before they declare peace. They wait until improvement appears before they say healing is working. But faith does not follow evidence, it precedes it. Faith speaks first, and manifestation follows. When your body feels weak, that is not the time to remain silent. That is the moment to release faith-filled words. Say, "Strength is rising within me." When discomfort tries to convince you that restoration is impossible, declare, "Healing is active in me right now." When fear whispers that your condition will never change, answer boldly, "My body is responding to life." At first, these words may feel unnatural. Your senses may argue against them. Your emotions may resist. The mind may say, "How can you speak this when you do not see it yet?" But this is exactly where faith becomes powerful. Faith refuses to surrender to visible evidence. It speaks because it trusts what is greater than appearances. Faith-filled words are not empty repetition. They must come from a heart persuaded of truth. This is why meditation matters. The more truth fills your thinking, the stronger your confession becomes. Eventually, what you speak is no longer forced effort, it becomes the natural overflow of inner certainty. And once words are spoken from that place of conviction, they release healing authority. They establish expectation within your spirit, your mind, and your body. Your whole being begins responding to what faith has declared. Do not underestimate the force of persistent confession. One declaration may seem small, but repeated faith-filled words create spiritual momentum. Day after day, they push against limitation. They weaken the hold of fear. They retrain expectation. They create an atmosphere where restoration becomes natural. Even if symptoms remain unchanged for a season, continue speaking. Faith is not moved by delay. Faith understands that persistence is proof of confidence. It does not retreat because results are not immediate. It stands firm, speaks again, and expects manifestation. This is how healing authority is released. It is not through emotional effort or striving. It is released through steady, unwavering agreement spoken aloud. So fill your mouth with faith. Refuse language that reinforces defeat. Refuse to give fear a voice. Speak life with boldness. Declare, "Healing is working in me now." Declare, "Strength is flowing through every part of my body." Declare, "Peace governs my mind and restoration fills my being." Speak until doubt loses its voice. Speak until expectation rises stronger than fear. Speak until your body has no choice but to align with the truth you have declared. Faith-filled words are not merely expressions of hope. They are activators of healing power. Release them consistently and watch as life responds to the authority of your confession. Negative confession is one of the most subtle forces that can work against restoration. Many people do not recognize its influence because it often sounds reasonable. It sounds like honesty. It sounds like simply describing what is happening. They say things like, "I will probably never get better," "This weakness always stays with me," or "Nothing ever changes for my body." To the natural mind, these words seem harmless because they appear to be statements of present reality. But words are never neutral. They carry direction, and whatever direction your words carry, your life begins to follow. When negative confession becomes a habit, it reinforces weakness. Every repeated declaration of limitation strengthens expectation of limitation. Every sentence spoken in agreement with defeat gives defeat greater influence over thought, emotion, and physical response. The body listens to what is spoken, and over time it begins to align itself with the dominant message it hears. This is why so many remain trapped in cycles of weakness. It is not always because the condition itself is too strong. Often it is because the confession surrounding the condition has become stronger than the expectation of change. When weakness is continually acknowledged as permanent, the mind accepts it, the emotions submit to it, and the body settles into agreement with it. Words shape internal expectation. If your confession is constantly negative, your expectation becomes fixed on decline rather than restoration. You begin to prepare for failure before healing ever has room to work. You start each day assuming weakness will dominate because weakness has been repeatedly established through speech. This is why negative confession is so dangerous. It does not simply describe your condition, it deepens its influence. What you continually say becomes the atmosphere your body lives under. If that atmosphere is filled with defeat, your body remains under the weight of defeat. If that atmosphere is filled with fear, your body responds with tension and disorder. Negative words create internal resistance to restoration. Some people unknowingly train their body into weakness through years of careless speech. They have spoken exhaustion until their system expects exhaustion. They have declared pain until their body anticipates pain. They have confessed inability until strength no longer feels possible. But what has been trained through negative confession can be retrained through truth-filled declaration. The first step is recognizing careless speech for what it is. You must become aware of every word that agrees with. Limitation. Listen carefully to what comes out of your mouth during difficult moments. Notice what you say when symptoms rise, when fatigue increases, or when fear presses in. Those moments reveal your dominant confession. If your first response is always defeat, then defeat has become your learned language. But learned language can be replaced. The moment you recognize negative confession, interrupt it. Refuse to let it continue unchecked. Replace it immediately with words of life. When your mouth wants to say, "I'm getting weaker," declare instead, "Strength is increasing within me." When fear urges you to say, "Nothing will ever change," answer boldly, "Restoration is already working." When your thoughts suggest surrender, speak aloud, "My body is responding to life." This may feel unnatural at first because your mind has been conditioned by repetition. Negative confession has become familiar. But every time you replace it with truth, you weaken its hold. Every life-filled declaration breaks old patterns and establishes new expectation. Persistence is essential. Negative habits formed over time will not disappear instantly. You must consistently choose words of authority until they become natural. Every corrected confession is an act of renewal. Every declaration of life is retraining your inner world. Do not become discouraged if the old language tries to return. Continue replacing it. Continue speaking life. Continue aligning your mouth with truth. Over time, your expectation will shift. Your mind will begin to anticipate restoration instead of weakness. Your emotions will become steadier. Your body will respond to the new atmosphere being created. Negative confession strengthens weakness because it gives weakness permission to remain. But truth-filled confession removes that permission and establishes a higher authority. So guard your mouth with intention. Refuse to speak what strengthens limitation. Speak only what strengthens life. Declare strength when weakness appears. Declare peace when fear rises. Declare restoration when symptoms speak otherwise. Your words are shaping your future even now. Let them become instruments of healing, not reinforcement of weakness. What you confess consistently will grow stronger. Choose words that build life and watch as your body begins to follow the authority of your declaration. The spoken word carries life unlike anything else. It is not ordinary speech, and it is not mere repetition of hopeful phrases. When truth is spoken aloud with faith, it becomes active, powerful, and effective. It moves beyond information and becomes force. This is why speaking truth aloud is so important. It is one thing to quietly believe within your heart, but it is another thing to release that belief through your mouth. The moment truth is spoken, it is activated in a way that transforms atmosphere, renews thought, and releases life into every part of your being. Many people read truth silently and wonder why they feel unchanged. They agree with it inwardly, yet never release it outwardly. But spoken truth carries authority. It was designed to be declared, not merely observed. When truth is released through your voice, it becomes a command that your mind, your emotions, and your body begin to hear and respond to. This is why silence often allows weakness to linger. When no life-giving words are spoken, negative thoughts are free to dominate the atmosphere. Fear fills the space where truth should have been declared. Doubt grows stronger where faith has remained unspoken. But when truth is spoken aloud, it interrupts fear. It breaks the momentum of doubt. It establishes life where uncertainty once ruled. Your mouth was created to release agreement with what is higher than present circumstances. It was designed to activate life through spoken declaration. When you speak truth, you are not trying to create something that does not exist. You are aligning yourself with what has already been made available and giving it expression in your present reality. This is why your confession matters so deeply. What you speak determines what atmosphere surrounds you. If your words are filled with defeat, defeat becomes familiar. If your words are filled with life, life begins to govern your expectation. Speaking truth aloud activates healing because it causes your whole being to come into agreement with life. Your mind hears it and begins to renew its thinking. Your emotions hear it and begin to release fear. Your body hears it and begins to align with the authority being spoken over it. The body listens carefully to repeated instruction. When spoken truth becomes consistent, the body gradually accepts it as dominant reality. This is why repetition matters. You do not speak once and stop. You continue declaring life until life becomes the atmosphere your body expects to live under. When weakness tries to settle in, speak aloud. Strength is working in me now. When discomfort demands your attention, declare, peace and restoration govern my body. When fear suggests decline, answer with confidence, life is active in every part of me. Do not whisper these things with uncertainty. Speak them boldly. Speak them with conviction. Speak them as established truth, not as fragile hope. There may be moments when your feelings contradict what you are saying. Your body may still show symptoms. Your mind may question whether your words are making any difference. This is where persistence becomes essential. Truth does not lose power because circumstances resist it for a season. It remains effective whether visible evidence appears immediately or not. Continue speaking. Continue declaring. Continue activating life through your confession. Every spoken declaration strengthens your agreement with truth. Every repetition weakens the influence of fear. Every word of life creates greater alignment within your spirit, your mind, and your body. This is not empty ritual. It is the deliberate release of authority through spoken agreement. Over time, something shifts. Peace grows stronger. Confidence becomes steadier. Expectation rises. The body begins to respond to the life-filled atmosphere created by consistent declaration. This is the power of spoken truth. It activates healing by establishing life as the dominant force within you. So do not remain silent. Open your mouth and speak life over yourself every day. Declare restoration when weakness appears. Declare peace when fear rises. Declare strength when fatigue presses in. Let your voice become the instrument that releases life into every part of your being. The truth spoken aloud is never wasted. It is always working. It is always planting. It is always producing. Keep speaking until what was first activated in the unseen becomes visible in the natural. The life you declare today is shaping the healing you will walk in tomorrow. Healing begins the moment agreement replaces doubt. It does not begin when symptoms disappear, when circumstances improve, or when visible evidence finally confirms what you hoped for. Healing begins the instant your heart and your words come into full agreement with truth. That moment of agreement shifts everything. It changes your expectation, transforms your atmosphere, and opens the way for restoration to begin working in every part of your being. Doubt has one assignment: to divide your confidence. It whispers uncertainty and causes hesitation. It says, "What? Nothing changes?" It suggests that your condition is permanent. It tells you that what you are believing for is too far beyond reach. Doubt does not need to shout to be effective. Often it works quietly, planting small questions that slowly weaken expectation. When doubt is entertained long enough, it creates inner division. Part of you desires restoration, but another part expects failure. You speak words of hope one moment and words of defeat the next. You pray for healing, but then immediately confess fear. This divided agreement creates instability within the mind and weakens your confidence to stand firmly. Your body responds to what is consistently believed and spoken. If your confession is mixed between faith and doubt, the body receives unclear instruction. One day it hears life, the next day it hears defeat. One moment it hears strength, the next moment it hears surrender. This inconsistency weakens expectation and allows limitation to remain familiar. But the moment agreement replaces doubt, clarity is established. There is no longer internal conflict. Your heart settles fully into truth, and your mouth begins to speak with confidence rather than hesitation. This unified agreement releases authority. Agreement is powerful because it aligns your entire being with one direction. Your thoughts move toward life. Your words declare life. Your expectation anticipates life. And your body begins responding to the atmosphere created by this unified confidence. This is why healing often begins before any outward evidence appears. The unseen shift takes place first. Something changes within. Fear loses its voice. Peace becomes steady. Expectation rises stronger than symptoms. The body senses this change because it is responding to the authority of inward agreement. You must guard your agreement carefully. Every day there will be opportunities for doubt to enter. Symptoms may intensify. Delay may tempt discouragement. Circumstances may appear unchanged. These moments test what you are agreeing with. If you agree with appearances, doubt gains influence. If you agree with temporary discomfort, fear strengthens its hold. But if you choose agreement with truth, despite what is visible, healing begins to work beneath the surface. Agreement is not passive acceptance, it is active alignment. It is choosing to say, even if I do not yet see the evidence, I stand fully convinced that restoration is working. It is refusing to let symptoms become your final report. When weakness speaks, answer with agreement to life. Declare, strength is increasing within me. When fear says change is impossible, respond, restoration is already unfolding. When doubt asks how this can happen, answer boldly, life is greater than limitation. The more consistently you choose agreement, the weaker doubt becomes. Doubt thrives on repetition, but so does faith. Every truth-filled declaration strengthens your agreement. Every refusal to echo fear builds confidence. Every act of trust weakens the old patterns of uncertainty. At first, replacing doubt may require deliberate effort. Your mind may resist. Old habits of fear may try to return. But continue choosing agreement. Continue speaking life until confidence becomes natural. Over time, agreement settles deeply into your thinking. It no longer feels forced. It becomes your instinctive response. Peace governs your inner world because doubt has lost its place. And when agreement is fully established, healing authority flows freely. The body responds to the clear instruction of unified faith. Restoration begins moving where confusion once ruled. Strength rises where fear once dominated. So choose agreement today. Refuse divided confession. Refuse words that weaken expectation. Stand firm and declare, my body is responding to life. Restoration is active in me now. Strength is increasing every day. Speak with certainty until doubt has no room to remain. Agreement is the doorway through which healing begins. Step into that agreement fully and let your whole being align with the life your words are declaring. The body was designed to respond to repeated instruction. It learns through consistency. It adapts to what it hears most often. This is why your words matter every single day. What you speak repeatedly becomes the message your body accepts as truth. If weakness is what it hears again and again, it begins to settle into weakness. If defeat is what it hears constantly, it adjusts to expect defeat. But if you speak health consistently with confidence and persistence, your body begins to respond to that higher instruction. Many people speak life once and then stop because they do not see immediate results. They declare strength in the morning, but by afternoon they have returned to words of discouragement. They speak peace for a moment, then spend the rest of the day repeating fear. This inconsistency weakens expectation and confuses the atmosphere within. Your body listens most carefully to what is repeated. It responds to the dominant confession, not the occasional declaration. A single moment of faith is powerful, but sustained confession establishes direction. This is why you must keep speaking health until your body obeys. Persistence is not denial. It is confidence refusing to retreat. It is the steady voice of faith declaring truth long enough for every part of your being to come into alignment with it. When symptoms remain unchanged, the temptation is to become silent. The mind begins to question whether speaking life is making any difference. Doubt whispers, "Why keep saying this if nothing has changed?" But this is the very moment when persistence becomes most important. Your confession is not dependent on visible evidence. It is rooted in truth. Truth does not lose power because circumstances take time to respond. Truth remains effective whether results are immediate or delayed. This is why you must continue speaking even when your senses offer no encouragement. Continue declaring strength when weakness still presses against you. Continue declaring peace when your emotions feel unsettled. Continue declaring restoration when symptoms appear unchanged. Every declaration is doing more than you realize. It is reshaping thought patterns. It is weakening fear. It is renewing expectation. It is creating an atmosphere where life becomes dominant. The body often changes gradually, just as years of negative confession may have. Trained it toward limitation, consistent words of life retrain it toward restoration. This process requires patience and faithfulness. Do not measure progress only by what you feel in the moment. Sometimes the greatest change is happening beneath the surface before it becomes visible. Peace may be strengthening even before symptoms shift. Confidence may be rising even before the body fully responds. Expectation may be deepening even while outward signs seem delayed. These unseen changes matter because they prepare the body to align with the life you are declaring. Speaking health consistently also disciplines your mind. It teaches your thoughts to submit to truth rather than react to fear. Instead of automatically agreeing with discomfort, your mind learns to answer with confidence. Instead of expecting weakness, it begins anticipating restoration. This mental renewal strengthens your body's ability to respond because expectation influences physical alignment. The body moves toward what the mind consistently accepts as possible. This is why your words must remain steady. Each morning, declare health over yourself. Speak life before weakness has a chance to speak first. Throughout the day, guard your confession carefully. Correct every careless word immediately. Replace every negative statement with truth. When fear arises, answer with peace. When fatigue speaks, answer with strength. When doubt questions progress, answer with confidence. Say aloud, "My body is responding to health." Declare, "Strength is increasing within me." Speak boldly, "Every part of my being is aligning with life." Do not grow weary in this practice. Every declaration matters. Every spoken truth is shaping your future condition. Eventually, what was once spoken by faith becomes visible reality. The body begins to obey the instruction it has heard consistently. Strength replaces weakness. Peace overcomes fear. Restoration becomes natural. So keep speaking health. Speak it when you feel strong and when you feel weak. Speak it when results are visible and when progress seems hidden. Your body is listening right now. Give it the language of life until it has no choice but to obey the authority of your words. Persistence in truth always produces fruit. Keep speaking, keep believing, and watch as your body aligns with the health you have declared.